Hey everybody, and welcome to This Week in Video Games, episode 3. We are sitting here in lovely Santa Monica, California, just chilling in the incredible amounts of heat. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Andrea Renee.
Hello.
What up? How's the roof?
Oh, there I am. That's the empty chair.
And
yes, it's Hades hot in the valley.
Yes, it is. And we're actually starting off with a piece of good news today. We were actually featured on iTunes this week. We were in the new and notable podcast section, and we actually got over 100,000 downloads. Go team, go team. Woo! If you're watching on Ustream, be sure to enter the chat room. We do read the chat room every so often, and leave us some comments, and we'll take a look over at it every so often. This show, we are actually going to try something new, and we're going to start off right off the bat with a little segment we like to call Showdown, and that is where we go head-to-head for bragging rights in the gaming universe. We have our controllers right here, and we are about to get into a game which neither of us knows anything about. We don't know what this game is. Our producer just set it up for us, and we're going to go on camera for bragging rights right now and see what this game is and who comes out on top. So let's get this started.
All right. Now, I just want to make sure that everyone out there watching knows that Michael and I have no idea what the game is or what the controls are or anything. So it's really going to be an even playing field unless one of us has happened to play this particular game before. But I don't know. So we'll see.
Okay.
And again, if you guys have suggestions.
Oh, we're playing Blur. Nice.
If you guys have suggestions for the showdown for us, please email us, send us a tweet.
Red Optic.
Give us a shout out in the chat room.
Oh no.
Let us know what you'd like to see us go head to head in.
Yeah, please. Player 3 is not signed in.
That's you.
That is me. Sign in. Wait a minute. Back. This is what happens when you try new things live. I love it. It's magical. Uh-oh. There's only that. We're gonna be able to do this? Okay.
We will have 2 other players in the showdown with us, so we're going to do a 4-way, and we don't know who these other 2 players are.
We're going to do a 4-way, ladies and gentlemen.
They're members of the ThisWeekend.com staff here in our Santa Monica studio, but we don't know who is actually holding the controllers because they're in a different room. So it'll be kind of
Okay,
exciting.
here we go. Making progress. I like this music.
All right.
I always have. Okay. All right, here we go.
How fitting. Downtown LA.
Everybody, so I guess we're playing 3 people. Here you go. We're all ready. Here we go.
Can I say I've never played Blur?
No, you can't. Because that would take away from my victory. So this is Blur, released this year on Xbox 360, PS3, Windows, by Bizarre Creations and Activision. It got a Metacritic score of 83 out of 100. Features real cars in Mario Kart style racing. And I cannot focus on that anymore because we're actually going.
Hey, quit cheating. You're looking at my fingers. Figure out the controls for yourself. Ooh, I got a boost. Awesome.
Okay. What is that? What?
I am playing in the bottom left-hand corner. Michael is in the bottom right-hand corner.
That's
and our
right.
mystery player is on top. Oh, damn.
Oh, no. I don't like to press the brakes on games. I just like to go as fast as possible. Oh, that's awesome.
I might say some expletives. I hope no one online will be offended if I swear. Because I hate losing, and I keep running into the
I want to
walls.
shoot somebody with lightning. Oh, dang it, I don't have it anymore. Oh, that's awesome.
How do you use the lightning?
I'm not going to tell you. You're already ahead of me. What do you need? Oh, I want to kill you. I need to kill you. I need to kill you. Dang it. What is that? Give me a power up immediately. Immediately. No. Okay. A little bit of
There
drag.
we go.
Oh.
I finally got the slide under control.
Yeah, it's all about the sliding. Okay, here we go. Dead! Die! Die!
Ah, you
Dang
missed.
it, I ran out. No!
Oh no!
Oh!
Oh,
Yes!
shit.
Yes! Okay.
Dick.
Okay.
I'm gonna get you.
Whoa! I just did some kind of crazy seismic thing, which I love.
Whoa.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Oh!
First place, baby. Am I? I think so.
You're in 6th place. Learn how
What?
to read, hotshot.
You're lame.
Oh, there we go. I figured it out. It only took me halfway through the race. Oh, shit.
Oh, give me. Give me.
I just sent something. I hope it comes and gets you.
No, this is not. What? What is this, Mario Kart?
Yeah.
No!
Isn't that amazing?
What?
Ah, ha, ha, ha.
How did you just get something that automatically wrecks me?
Dick.
Hey, hey.
That's what
hey.
you get.
Oh,
I'm
you're gonna
coming
get
for
wrecked.
you.
You're gonna get wrecked.
I'm coming for you.
Wait, you should be wrecked. Something was behind me.
How are you still ahead of me? Where
Because
are
I'm
you?
better. Shoot. Oh, no!
You're
Took my
not
power
better.
up.
You just got lucky.
I even gave you a head start.
Oh, yeah. Keep telling yourself that. You know, we really should team up
So-
and go after
We really
whoever's beating
should.
us both.
Oh, why
I
didn't
think
that seismic
that's
thing hit
really
you?
what we're forgetting here.
I just really like hitting the sides on these turns. Find it a lot of fun.
I really like the Mario Kart-esque power-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Kill you. Yes, it's a turtle shell. That's the only word for
Oh,
it. Yes.
shit.
This is a blatant ripoff. I love it. It's just like a reskinned Mario Kart. Bam!
Except it's got real cars and
Yeah.
you're in real locations. But I have to say, I really love playing Princess in Mario Kart.
Did
The
you really
little-
have to say that though?
Well, because of the little sounds they make, you know?
There's like, waha! Yeah, at least, couldn't we get like manly grunt? Oh, yes! Yes! I
Aw,
finished ahead of
shit.
both of you. Unfortunately, we all sucked.
All
Okay,
right.
okay.
I'm, oh.
Yes, I feel like that was a war of attrition. Okay.
So I officially lost the first showdown after I talked a lot of talk last week, so that
So
really sucks.
we're gonna figure out what her penalty is for next week. We don't have one right now, but we'll figure it out for next week. That was fun. That was
Nice.
fun. I'm glad we could do that.
Hey, I want a rematch, by the way.
No, you'll get it. You'll get it.
Rematch. All right, you guys. Well, we're going to start off our news segment with our top story of the week. Now, last week we thought it would be kind of sacrilegious to mention Harmonix's Rock Band 3 trailer that came out because we had our great guest from Neversoft, Jeremy Rogers, and he was talking all about the new Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock. But since he's not here this week, we can't ignore it. So we're going to go ahead and play that trailer for you right now.
Rated T for teen.
Awesome! I think you guys out there know that I'm a huge Rock Band fan, and I'm so pumped for this game to come out. There's so many reasons to be excited about this game. First and foremost, it's got amazing new instruments. It's got a keyboard, and it also has a Pro Keys feature. It has a Pro Guitar feature and a Pro Drums feature. Plus, it's got 83 new songs, and of course, you can import all of your old songs from your previous rock bands. And I was told by Dan Teasdale, who you will be seeing my interview with in just a moment, that there are going to be around 2,000 songs available by holiday season for download to complete the Rock Band family of songs.
Can I just say, though, the Guitar Hero trailer was way better. I'm sorry, it just was. That was lame. That was a lame trailer. But I think the game's going to be better, but the Guitar Hero trailer was like, face melting.
I admit that, I mean, Rock Band really isn't trying to make, you know, rock characters like Guitar Hero is. But that's one of the cool things about the new Rock Band is that there's much more customization with your avatars than there was in previous versions, which is also kind of neat because you can kind of create your own, you know, Rock Band character. I have one. Her name is Pip. I always give her a really like bitchin' red haircut because you can do some pretty awesome haircuts that I would never actually try in real life because it would take forever to grow back.
Sounds exciting.
It's really neat. It's got a bunch of really cool, like, new kind of indie bands like Metric and Phoenix. Of course, everyone knows the Vines. And then it also has amazing classic groups like The Doors with Break On Through. They've got Hendrix and Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train, which I can't even imagine how difficult that's going to be on Expert.
So you were able to interview one of the creators of Rock Band 83?
Yes, actually, and what's really interesting is that Dan Teasdale, who I interviewed from Harmonix, is actually not with Harmonix anymore. He actually just left Harmonix to go work on a different company. I believe it's Twisted Pixel.
Oh, wow.
Is the new company. I need to get my notes out and double check. But we're going to go ahead and play that interview. I interviewed Dan Teasdale. He is the lead designer for Rock Band 3. And I interviewed him for the bitbag.com, another awesome gamer site. If you guys ever check them out, please give them some love, the Bitbag. And so we're going to go ahead and roll it and enjoy.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Andrea Renee. I'm at the MTV Games and Harmonix booth at E3 with Dan, the lead designer for Rock Band 3. Dan, Rock Band 3 looks kick-ass. How hard did you work on this game?
We've been working pretty hard for the last 2 years on Rock Band 3. We've got like amazing new features, stuff that's never been seen before. It's pretty exciting to be able to get people to play the game here at E3.
I, for one, am very excited about trying out the new keyboard feature. Have you done a lot of practice on the keyboard?
A little bit of practice on the keyboard. It's pretty fun. We have actually 2 modes on the keyboard. We have a standard like 5-lane thing, so if you're familiar with Rock Band, it's kind of the same thing. But we also have Pro keyboards, which is a full 2-octave keyboard. So if you actually want to learn a keyboard and want to play a keyboard, you can go through, turn on Pro keys, and become a keyboardist.
Whoa, but what if I'm not a keyboardist and I want to try Pro keys? I mean, how much practice do you think I need before I can jump up from regular keys to Pro keys?
So Pro keys actually has 4 difficulty levels. So if you just want to jump in, you've never played keyboard before, you can choose easy Pro keys, and you get kind of a similar experience to like playing easy drums for the first time. And then you can slowly ramp up your skill and become a keyboard virtuoso.
All right, very cool. One of the other features for Rock Band 3 that I thought was just out of this world was the fact that you can plug in a real guitar and play along with the game.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the whole pinnacle of the whole Rock Band Pro thing is the Pro guitar, which is essentially you're playing guitar. You have 6 strings that are on the interface in the game, and you're playing single notes and chords and going from nothing all the way to playing a real guitar in the game. It's incredible.
I mean, I don't own a real guitar, so I guess one of my next questions would be, is Harmonix and MTV Games, are they going to eventually put out some kind of a package bundle deal where you can get all of the instruments, the keyboard, the bass, the guitar, the drum set, the multiple microphones, all in one giant big box?
Well, the one thing we are doing is we have a deal with Mad Catz, and they have a bunch of different guitars, and they're making the keyboard peripheral. They're also making a Mustang Pro controller, which is kind of a button version of a real guitar. So instead of strings, it has buttons, so you're not developing calluses, and you can play for a long time. We also have an amazing deal with Fender, where Fender are making a Squier Stratocaster. It's like a real guitar that hooks up into the game, and so you could go through, play your game on the Strat, unplug it, plug it into an amp, and play it as a real guitar, which is amazing.
I am super excited. Now, I just have one more question for you before we let you go. Obviously, one of the amazing features of playing all the different rock bands is this enormous track list. I think you guys said you'll have almost 2,000 songs by the time this game is released. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not a rich girl. Are you guys maybe considering introducing some kind of subscription service for Rock Band so that I can play a song, test it out without having to buy it first and break my bank?
Well, it's something we've talked about a lot. Obviously, the Rock Band Network allows you to preview songs, and you can play through the first chunk of a song on any Rock Band Network song. We have hundreds of those. A subscription model is something that always comes up. People always ask us. It's a very tough thing to do. As soon as we can figure something out like that, obviously we'll want to let the world know, but not right now.
All right, well, I'll keep my fingers crossed. Thanks so much. Great to see you, and I'll check you guys later.
Very cool.
All right, so that's me talking to Dan Teasdale. Sorry about the audio. I know it was a little blown out. My voice is kind of annoying in kind of a microphone setting.
Can I just say, I love that the chat room is having a discussion of Justin Bieber. The This Week in Video Games Ustream chat room is having a discussion on Justin Bieber while we're showing that. Anyway, go on.
Oh, no, I just wanted to, we're going to move on to some more news stories, but I do want to let you guys know that hopefully we're going to work with Mad Catz to get some of the new controllers in here.
Yeah, yeah.
So I can demo them when the game comes out, because they do have a guitar controller that actually, instead of the normal 5 buttons, it has strings that are buttons that go all the way up and down the neck of the guitar
crazy.
to simulate like you're hitting the real note
really,
on the neck of the
have
guitar.
to try that.
So it's going to take the music playing experience to a whole new level. But
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
so we're going to move on now.
On to the news. Comic-Con is this weekend. No, next weekend, Friday through Sunday. We are going to try to go. We'll see how that turns out. There are several games being shown there. It's become kind of like a gaming conference, which is really interesting to me. Some of those games are Guild Wars 2. So I think we have some video for that. Let's play a little bit of that.
Now is the time. Claim your destiny. Forge your legend.
There you go. If you are an MMO fan, it looks like a really promising game. They've obviously reworked the art style. I actually still have the original Guild Wars, which I play occasionally, because it was free to play. I mean, why not get it? It was like $10, and then you can play online every time you want. It's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to Guild Wars 2 a little bit, but more than that, I'm looking forward to Epic Mickey. And we have a little clips, which we should keep the sound on this because there's a little bit of talking over it, but can you roll a clip? Because there's a really cool mechanic that the game uses a lot, which is the paint mechanic, where you kind of paint to change the world around you. And that looks, yeah, there it is with the Wii remote. It's only on Wii. That's going to be demoed actually at Comic-Con, so I can't wait to play that. Another game that they're demoing at Comic-Con is Red Faction Armageddon. I think we have some video of that as well. Yeah, this is, it honestly looks a lot like Fallout 3 to me, but I guess the difference is Armageddon is happening right now in the game, and the Havoc engine that they used for the last couple of Red Faction games is going to be back. You'll see a lot of the environments be destructible, a lot of vehicular stuff, and lots of stuff exploding all around you. Now let's just wait to see some of these explosions, because they're important. You always need good explosions in video games, don't you?
I think that no video game is complete without explosions.
I agree with that.
But it's so funny, I'm just checking the chat room. Someone's talking about, oh, it's Mark, can I shoot Mickey in this game? Why on earth would you want to shoot Mickey? We're watching Red Faction. Sorry, I got distracted. Explosions!
I love it. Yes,
it reminds
Red Faction
me of that
woot.
Old Spice commercial.
This game reminds you of Old Spice. That's interesting.
No, the commercial with the guy.
Yeah, totally.
Kicks the skyscraper over. Anyone?
No, I do love that commercial. Okay, so there's also, this is the thing that I'm most excited about. This is a brand new sci-fi action RPG based on the DNA of Spore. Now, we don't have any footage of this, but apparently it's going to be shown for the first time at Comic-Con. So let's cross our fingers. I hope we get to go down there and get some interviews and stuff.
That's just so interesting to me that you would take a game that I thought was kind of like a passive game.
Spore?
Spore?
Dude, well, it's an action RPG now. The original Spore, it just opened up so many possibilities. The idea was you create these creatures and then you evolve them over time and you're on your own planets. It was such a cool concept, and it really didn't pan out as much as they thought it was, as much as they thought it would. There were like 3 different sections of the game where you create the creature and then you go spacefaring and whatnot, but the game didn't really come together. So I'm hoping that this, with more of like a laser-like focus, will be a little bit.
Well,
more
I think the Spore was just a little bit too cerebral. You know what I mean? It was very kind of like intellectual almost. Yeah. And I think when you talk about gamers, they wanna kill stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's true. And never doubt Sid Meier's. Never doubt Sid Meier's. That's what I've learned. That's the one thing that I've ever learned in my life. Okay, next story. Blizzard scraps the Real ID system for their forums, but then reveals a bunch of real people's IDs in the process. So, noticing that they had a mass mutiny on their hand, Blizzard decided to scrap the plans to implement that system, which exposed people's real names online. Obviously, World of Warcrafters are kind of like fantasy gamers, and they don't really necessarily want everybody to know their name when they post on a forum. So they retracted that, but the people, this is hilarious to me, somebody accidentally hit reply all on a string, and so all the emails got exposed. Funny times. Funny times.
Well, that's the unfortunate consequence of today's technology.
Yes, yes.
Have you ever had an incident where you sent an email that you wanted to only send to one person?
I am so careful about that because that's my worst nightmare. If I'm like, I'm writing some kind of angry email, I make sure to blind copy. Blind copy is your friend, people. On big strings, because not only that, but I've had it happen where people have used, before I used to blind copy all the time, when I would just put everybody on the same string, and then somebody would hit reply to all and start a completely different thread that had nothing to do with it. That was annoying. So that's when I started blind copying everybody. Interesting story, huh? The next story is also interesting. That's my segue.
Good segue.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm working on them. Kotaku is showing oh wait, sorry. Let's roll this website. We got a website thing. No. Next story is the Modern Warfare 2 trailer. Sorry. Modern Warfare 2 trailer. Whoop. Yes. Apparently the lawsuit between Activision and Infinity Ward is heating up as allegations of Activision creating a police state have cropped up, which they said that Activision would regularly look over people's shoulders, literally multiple times every day. They would be working long overtime hours and just kind of creating a police state in general. And I have a friend on the inside, so I kind of wanted to bring up this story because he's really not happy with the state of things. Like there's a lot of bad blood that Activision created, and I want to say to you, Activision, I just want to talk to Activision directly for a second, if I could get on my soapbox. Shame on you. Infinity Ward is the reason you are so successful with the Call of Duty franchise, and that it's the highest selling franchise in all of history. And for you to treat this amazing company that really put together this engine that's so awesome, it was like the first really good cross-platform current generation engine, and such an amazing game in Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare. I don't know if people remember, but with Call of Duty 3, it was kind of like, we're kind of over this World War II thing, right? In comes Infinity Ward, and after like 4 years of development, this amazing Modern Warfare game comes out. And Activision, treats them like their enemy, which makes no sense to me.
But what happened? I want to know. Come on, do you have any details?
Ooh, yeah, I can't.
I mean, this is a huge lawsuit. You guys, if you don't know anything about this story, this developer, Infinity Ward, originally sued Activision for around 1.2 million? No, billion. 1.2 billion. Yep. That's with a B. $1 billion for damages, but there was no really statements about what actually was going down besides them saying that it was a police state. What did your friend say? What was happening?
Well,
what was going on?
I can't really go into too much detail for fear of not having a friend anymore.
I don't want details. Just give me something light.
Okay. Well, the Activision pretty much, they're like a pariah. They kind of sucked all the life out of a lot of the work that they did. I know it's unfair to tease, that I have a friend on the inside who's going through this, but I hope someday we'll be able to have him come on the show. But for right now,
give us a tell-all interview.
Yeah, there will be books written about this thing because this is exactly how you do not do it. How you do it is the Blizzard Vivendi thing. That's how you do it. You let Blizzard do whatever the heck they want, and they will make you money. But if they start to be unhappy, that's when, the spring dries up and you stop getting good games. So I expect the next Call of Duty is actually going to be really awesome. Black Ops. I'm looking forward to that. After that,
I think it's really interesting that this story come out, especially considering the success, like you said, the success of Modern Warfare 2. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a game that earned $550 million in 5 days, which is more than any modern-day movie release has done. Yeah. And which is incredible. They had 2 million.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
They had 2 million users in one day play this game, which is a Microsoft record.
I'm pretty sure I beat this game in like 2 days straight. I don't think I ate. I think I was just on my couch playing Modern Warfare 2. start to finish for like 2 days. The game was so engrossing and so well paced. But going from this kind of unhappy issue to something that I really want to talk to you guys about, we are going to do our top 5 horror games of all time. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, I want to touch it. Ooh. Ooh. That was awesome. Thank you guys. You're the greatest production team ever. Okay, so we're going to be starting to do lists of top 5s, and to kick it off, we're doing horror because it's a genre that I love. I love horror games, and I don't know why. I think I'm a glutton for pain because I like to play them alone at night with a giant TV with the sound cranked up, like just kind of huddled up with like lots of nooks and crannies that I can look to and be scared of. And I like to put myself in a position to be as scared as possible because movies just don't scare me as much as I'd like them to. There might be a couple of jump things.
I don't think you're watching the right movies.
No, I really don't get scared that easily, and I really try because movies, like there can be some jumpy moments, and there's definitely some psychological trauma I've experienced with movies like The Hills Have Eyes and stuff. But games,
love that movie.
What?
No, see, that's the really ironic thing, is like when you told me you were going to do this segment, I said, oh my gosh, get me out of there. I hate these scary games.
But you love horror movies.
Because my thing is like, I like horror movies in the sense that you can close your eyes when it gets scary. You can like, I always plug my ears when the sound gets really scary. But in video games, you have to be an active participant in the scariness.
That is exactly my point, and that's why it's 10 times scarier. Because if you don't move your character forward away from the zombies chasing you, you will die and the game will end. That's not the case in movies. So let's without further ado, reveal the number 5 best horror game of all time. This is Silent Hill. This game was released in 1999. It was not the first of its kind, but it did have a lot of innovations, which is why it kind of squeaked in. Really doesn't stand the test of time, but I'm going to kind of go quiet here and let you watch some of the suspense, because this game is all about suspense.
What is this? What's going on here?
Okay. Okay. I just had to play that clip out to the end because the guy he just dies. That's the thing about Silent Hill that's amazing, is that you don't have any weapons. You have like a flashlight and you have to run. That's all you do in the game. It's really scary, really creepy. They have the creepiest nurses in history. I love what Jordan GTV says, which is like, don't go farther, no, don't do it. But you have to, Jordan. You have to. That's the way you play the game. So that squeaked onto the list because it's one of the OG games. The Silent Hill series has been scary for a while. At the time, it was kind of a step up from Resident Evil because Resident Evil, in my opinion, had gotten a little stale. They'd been doing a similar formula with Resident Evil 2, and I think Resident Evil 3 was about to come out, or Code Veronica was about to come out. But at number 4 on our list, the original Resident Evil. So, okay, I love this part of the game because it's hilarious. This game totally does not stand the test of time at all, and I would never want to play it right now. But at the time that it came out on PS2, it was freaking scary, right? Like you're locked in this room. The thing that scared me most were the zombies, which we don't have a clip of, but this is hilarious. Watch this. Watch what she does. Okay. Let's relax. It's pretty. I love that. She's just like, all right, I'm gonna die. I'll put my hand on my hip. Let's check that out. So the game clearly, like, to me, it does not stand the test of time. Like, I don't want to play it right now. There was a remake for GameCube that was really awesome. I would play that right now. And it also eventually came out for Wii, I'm pretty sure, with no, wait. It was on GameCube, that's all I know. So, Resident Evil 4, I mean, you gotta have that in the list, right? It's the original, the first real scary horror game. It invented it all. Cheesy as crap, like really ridiculous, but a lot of fun. At number 3, and this is the one that's probably gonna get the most emails and hate mail, and I love that, so send it on down. Doom 3!
Tower, Dark Star on final. We have them on radar, sir. They'll be landing in a few moments. We've got you, Dark Star. You are set for lockdown. Welcome back. Please report to Sergeant Kelly ASAP.
All right, bioscan looks good. You're cleared for entry.
Another newbie. Welcome to the worst assignment you'll ever have.
Another member of the science team's gone missing. Since you're the ranking FNG, you get to find him.
Why are so many workers spooked, complaining, requesting transfers off Mars? I will need full access, Dr. Petruka. Delta included.
We brought a few over, a few specimens, but things have gotten out of hand. Amazing things will happen here soon. You just wait.
Attention, all personnel in that facility.
Destroy it.
Yeah, that game's pretty awesome. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, no, it's a first-person shooter. That game is freaking scary. Like PC Nerd 37 was saying, he doesn't like games where there are just a lot of shadows and you can't see what's going on. I don't either, but that's why I love it. It's kind of like this weird love-hate relationship. It is so scary because they straight up demons jump out of every dark corner. There are like festering corpses.
You just contradicted yourself, right?
I hate
it, but yeah. I love it.
No, I know. I must be a masochist. That must be why I love horror games. And Doom 3 is freaking scary, and it definitely stands the test of time. If you can play it right now on a PC or an original Xbox, you should definitely do that because it's a great game and it's quite a ride. And there is a lot of really cool action elements to it. But that's also true of the next game on our list, game number 2. And the reason it's number 2 is because game number 1 is just all around great. But number 2 is the scariest game of all time. I'm going to say that right now. It recently came out. It is, just watch this.
Isaac, it's me. I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about everything. I wish I could just talk to someone. It's all falling apart here. I can't believe what's happening.
How many times you watched that thing? Guess you really miss her. Don't worry, we're almost there. You'll be able to look her up once we're on board. Sounds like you do have a lot of catching up to do.
The USG, Ishimura. Biggest planet cracker in her class.
Why is it all dark? I don't see any running lights.
This is Bugle. Holden. By Maritime Law, Article 5469, I hereby declare Captain Benjamin Mathius unfit for duty. The mark must be delivered to the church. I'm sorry, Ben, but I can't let you do this.
USG Ishimura, this is the emergency maintenance team of the USG Kellion responding to your distress call. Come in, Ishimura.
All right, guys, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Dead Space 2 is coming out soon. Now, while the original Dead Space, I think we both agree, is super scary, the second Dead Space is even more ridiculous. The graphics are light years beyond the original. The interactivity is just as great. Storyline, but let me tell you, it's a much bigger world. You're actually in a space city, so there's many, many, many more environments for you to be frightened in, I guess I should say. I actually screamed out loud when I watched the demo.
Oh my gosh, man. I just have nightmares of playing this game still. It is just so freaking scary. You're right, Lons, it is the sound. It totally is the sound.
Of our race ends here.
Yeah, the first time I tried to play through that game, I played halfway through the game, and then I had to stop. I was so scared. I was literally, because of the sound, like the sound is so good in that game, I was literally like, I would hear like little things from the kitchen behind me as I'm playing it. I had to stop, and then I picked it up again and I played through it. But that game, it's such a good game. It's such a great game. The only reason, well, actually, another reason that it's a good game is because just the sense of loneliness that it conveys. You're on this dead spaceship, like mining ship, and the sense of you're just all alone with these horrible, unspeakable, like mutated monsters made out of the ship's corpses, and everywhere you look, there's just like gruesomeness. It really gets inside of you. Like the game is scary.
Oh no, yeah, no. I mean, even I guess you guys have probably figured out that I can't play games like Dead Space. I try because as an avid gaming fan, I do my best to try games that I haven't played before, but I just could not do it. Could not sit through it. And when I was at E3 looking at Dead Space 2, it was just like, why would I want to play this game?
Because it's awesome. Because it will scare your pants off.
Maybe I'm just being a big old girl. I think that's really just
it's quite possible. I'm not going to put that on you, though. I'm not going to
It's
put
all right.
that.
I'm admitting it right now.
Some gamers are asking who we are. We're about 40 minutes into the show. My name is Michael Ludden. You can follow me on Twitter at Michael_Ludden.
And I'm Andrea Renee. You can follow me on Twitter at Andrea Renee. Plus, I'm on Facebook.com/Andrea Renee. Of course, this is This Week in Video Games. And we want to get to our #1 top horror video game, and then we're going to move on to some more news.
Yes. The only reason that Dead Space wasn't the #1 of all time, in my opinion, is because it's kind of an homage to our #1, which kind of reinvented the horror genre, and it's fitting that it's by the makers of Resident Evil. Let's roll it.
Excuse me. Sir?
Freeze! I said freeze! I am
name's Leon. I'm under the President's order to rescue you.
What? My father?
Small world, eh?
Somehow I managed to get myself involved with the incident in Raccoon City on my first day in the Force.
That is the incident with the viral outbreak, right?
What are we gonna do, Leon?
Quick, in that cabin!
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, okay. That game redefined the horror genre. Before Resident Evil 4, we were still stuck on these ridiculous like controls where you had to turn your character and then walk forward, then turn your character. And the whole thing about the horror genre was that it was hard to move your character, and that's why it was scary. But this actually gives you empowerment. You get so many upgrades for so many different weapons. There are ways to upgrade your character. It's got a really, really deep combat system. Depending on where you hit the bad guys, different things happen. You know, if you hit their head later on in the game, they just grow these crazy tentacles, and it's actually worse. So you don't want to hit their head first, unless you're finishing them off. The game was just so deep. The story was ridiculous. Let's just get that out of the way. It's Resident Evil, and the story is no less ridiculous in this one. But everything around it, the production value, it's really scary, but at the same time, it's got such a deep combat system and such an interesting story nonetheless. The graphics at the time were state-of-the-art. The Wii edition, somebody said in the chat room, is a really good version to pick up if you haven't played Resident Evil 4. It's out now on the Wii, and you just use the controller to aim instead of the other thing. It's kind of HD. It's like 480p. You know, they didn't really do too much on the texture work, but it stands the test of time, and Dead Space actually has a similar control scheme, similar upgrade thing going on. Dead Space is scarier in my opinion, but Resident Evil 4 was one of the biggest joys of my gaming life to complete. I had so much fun completing that game. It was such a challenge and so rewarding. And there's so much to do. There's so much replay value. Like after you beat it, you unlock Mercenaries, and then you get these challenges. In Mercenaries, you get to unlock different players that you can play. There's even in the PS2 version, Ava's Story, which is another entire campaign. I mean, the game is just amazing. It is by far the #1 horror game of all time, in my opinion, and one of the top games. It's definitely in my top 5 of all time, period. Maybe even top 2. So, that is our top 5 horror games of all time. We are quickly going to go through the news and then get to Lon Harris, who's going to be coming in. He's a producer on our show, and he also runs This Week in iPad. He's going to talk to us briefly about some iPad games. But if you have questions or feedback, feel free to either send us an email. You can send me an email at michael@thisweekend.com, or you can send me a tweet on Twitter, Michael_Ludden. Tell me that you hated it. Tell me that you loved it. Tell me what you think the best horror games of all time are. And if you have an idea for a top 5, definitely send that to us as well.
Absolutely. And as always, we are looking for more video game reviews from you. If you guys watched the show last week, you saw our video game review of, Monica's video game review of Plants vs. Zombies. And we want you guys to send in your game reviews. So if you guys have any ideas, or if you have videos that you've shot and you've done yourself, we'd love to see them. You can send those to me or to Michael. My email is andrea@thisweekend.com. All right, so now moving on to some more news. Nintendo 3DS look is, unlike earlier comments, the final look.
Yeah.
We have a little promo trailer that we're going to show right here. You guys want to check it out? Obviously, we're all very excited about the 3DS. It was probably the talk of the town at E3. Everyone was super pumped about it. And while Nintendo originally said that it wasn't going to be the final model that they demoed, it turns out it is going to be the final model that they demoed. So we're all really pumped about it. It's not going to be available this year, which is kind of a bummer. Not going to be able to get it until next year. But Looks pretty damn cool.
This is the silliest promo ever, by the way. I just wanted to say that. It's kind of funny though. I like seeing all these bigwigs do this. They're like trying to act. It's kind of painful, but you know, it's well produced.
Hey, if I can get a puppy to jump out of my 3DS, you can sign me up right now.
Yeah, that better happen.
But
I want my money back.
You said, but one of the cool games coming up for the 3DS that we're going to talk about is Kid Icarus.
Yeah, let's go ahead and run that actually. The Kid Icarus
I'm playing with
clip.
my earrings.
Yeah, let's run the Kid Icarus clip. I'm really looking forward to this game on the 3DS because obviously there hasn't been a Kid Icarus game in decades. And it's, you know, it's a little cutesy, as a lot of Nintendo games are, but once you see past that, it's probably going to be a great game with really solid mechanics. The story is, you know, there's a lot of flying combat. This is actually 3DS footage. When I first saw this, I thought it was for Wii because, I mean, you can show it in full screen and it you know, it looks like a Wii game, but it's on the 3DS and it's only one of the 2 screens. So there's a lot of flying, like I said, flying mechanics that you do. I'm not sure if you use the gyroscope to do that or how you're going to do that. But there is also going to be land-based combat, and it's going to get multiplayer. That's the big story for today. Kid Icarus looks like it's going to get multiplayer. According to the creator Masahiro Sakurai, they're testing online capabilities right now. And by the way, it's the same team that designed Super Smash Bros. Brawl. So this game should be really tight and really fun to play. And it also should be really tight. You know what I'm saying? Woo! Sorry, that's terrible.
Yeah, about that.
And then our last news story of the day before we bring Lon Harris in. I really wanted to do this. Andrea was like, do we really have to do that? And I'm like, yes, because
I wanted to
I'm not
cut it and
gonna lie.
talk about the Kinect bundles.
It makes me a little excited.
But apparently we're not.
Oh yeah, right, sorry. It makes me a little excited. The first Dragon Age 2 screenshots are up. Can we get there we go, a clip of the website. Look at that, that's the new art style. So I loved Dragon Age. I beat it. I sunk way too many hours into that. I beat the expansion. I considered getting the downloadable content, but ultimately I didn't think there was enough there. But they're pulling a Mass Effect 2. They are making it so that there's only one character. You're a human named Hawk, and you don't have these origin stories where you're either a noble or a lower classman. You can't be a dwarf or an elf, although apparently the decisions that you made in the first game matter in the sequel, just like with Mass Effect 2. Yeah, so you can be a male or female Hawk. Not really digging the new art style, but I just wanted to show you those pictures. So there we go.
Fantastic.
There it is.
All right, you guys, it's that awesome time of the day where we have our random segment of the week. And this week we are featuring the one and only Lon Harris from thisweekend.com. He's on all of the shows here, you guys. And he's here to talk to us about some iPad games.
Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome.
It's part of my world tour of this weekend shows.
Well, fantastic. If you guys don't have an iPad yet, you're like me, and we're just behind the times.
Let's get a shot of Lon. Let's show his beautiful, beautiful mug if we can. Do we have that? There he is.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
What is that?
I've been on, we have 13 shows now on this weekend. I think this is the 6th or 7th show I've made an appearance on.
Congratulations.
So,
very nice.
yeah,
You must feel very
I think
special.
probably the most featured, because obviously.
So we have a lot of hate already in the chat room about the iPad. Show us why iPad is a gaming platform.
I thought you meant for me.
No, not for you. No.
Well, I first of all, I do want to give a name check to Plants vs. Zombies, which I know you guys talked about last week, and is an amazing game. Somebody was talking about it in the chat room. Lots of fun. I think one of the knocks that I saw somebody in the chat room saying was it's too arcadey. That there's not the depth that you'd get on a console. There's too many like sort of arcade-style games, and I can't really deny that. I mean, that is true. Like it's at least at this early stage of development, that is kind of the sort of iPad style.
It's casual gaming.
Casual gaming, arcade-style games. I mean, something, and I think that makes sense considering the platform. I mean, the iPad is something you can sort of pick up and put down. You keep it on your coffee table. You play for a few minutes, and then you get distracted. It's a great thing for like when you're on the couch or you're sort of in the middle of something. It's not like World of Warcraft or something on the Xbox.
They should have that on there, though. That
Yes.
would be sweet.
You're not going to lose like 18 hours at a go gaming on your iPad. It's more for like fun stuff. So one thing I wanted to show off, though, that I do think this was actually recommended to me recently, is this game Nova. We'll take a look at it.
Who recommended that to you? That's crazy.
I don't know. Some guy who sort of knows his stuff, I heard. I don't know. I'm not sure. So we'll bring it up. We have to watch this movie thing at first. And so then you bring it up. This is actually an attempt to bring sort of the first-person shooter to the iPad, which is kind of new. I have to say the control is a little bit clunky. They obviously have yet to perfect first-person shooter. So you move around using this button. You shoot using that button. You can jump hitting this right here. have nothing to jump over right now. So you know, it's not exactly Dead Space or something where you've got really tight controls.
Right.
I just threw a grenade in there. We'll see that go off.
I like that. I've heard that
you
this
can pick
is a
up
lot
the
like
weapons.
Halo.
You go. It is definitely like. I mean. Yeah, I don't want to compare it to Halo because it's not the depth.
Halo's better.
The strategy. I mean, Halo is a lot more thorough experience. So there's a guy. Oh, he's shooting at me.
You know, I just have to recommend that you get an Android because the Android platform actually has Nova on it as well.
Oh, really?
I just wanted to pimp the Android platform.
And the one thing I think that I want to mention while we're talking about this game in particular.
I don't have a cool thing to play. Oh, I have an iPod Touch. That's cool.
Yeah, that's got some games. You got some. No, not really.
I'm all about Angry Birds right now.
Angry Birds is a great game, and that one does have a HD version.
This
for
is
the
Evo
for the
4G. We got some questions. You definitely get an Evo 4G. I love it. Anyway,
Wait,
go on.
This ain't mobile.
This is the iPad segment.
This ain't mobile.
Sorry.
So yeah, I mean, the one thing I was going to say about this, and that hurts a lot of iPad games from this perspective when you're trying to get, is that it's not tactile. You can't. Your hand slips because you're looking at the screen, and you don't notice that you've lost your place, and you have to get your thumb back. So in terms of moving really fast and killing guys effectively. It's lacking.
I wonder if they could do a thing where the gyroscope, you kind of like move it around to kind of aim, and you only have one virtual joystick.
Or something with like a thumb grip. I mean, there's got to be a solution in some way to get the grip figured out.
Steve Jobs isn't going to do it though.
Maybe they're going to develop some kind of peripheral controller or joystick that you plug into the iPad?
I think
I'm sure they will.
I think they might, but it sort of defeats the purpose. I mean, a lot of the idea is that it's this really self-contained. I pick it up, I put it down. Like once you start adding a lot of peripherals on it, it's like I should just have a laptop.
But don't they have a peripheral keyboard?
They do.
iPad?
They do. They have
so
a
your argument's flawed.
But I don't have one.
Oh.
They do have one. The next one I want to bring up, and actually we talked to the creator of this game on This Week in iPad this week, so some of the people in the chat room may have seen this already, but I want to show it off anyway because it's kind of cool and it's a very new game. It's called Osmos, and this is the kind of game that the iPad is really sort of ideal for. It's very arcadey. But you're moving around. It's sort of hard to describe. This is not a great level to show off. I'm screwing up here. Let's select a different level.
I like the pawing at it to get the controls up. You're just
yeah, scraping at the screen. So in this game, you are sort of a planet or a cell or some sort of self-contained object.
Is this a Scientology game?
Yes. I'm OT6 right now. I'm working on it. No, but so you want to go basically you're like osmosis. You're sort of absorbing other orbs. I can go and absorb any other orb that's smaller than me. Ones that are bigger than me will absorb me. And I basically have to just float around, and I tap behind myself to propel myself forward. But you'll notice that when I do that, I lose mass, and the whole point is to get bigger. So if I try to go too fast, as you can see, I shrink. So I go faster, but I end up sort of losing the game by doing that. And the goal is always to just like get bigger or absorb other orbs. And eventually in the game, you'll get to a point where the orbs get sort of aggressive, and they're coming after you, trying to absorb you.
I just had a brilliant thought.
I was going to say, it's kind of like if they're not coming after you, it's just kind of like a screensaver, isn't it?
Well, but I mean, in the early, this is one of the early levels.
Wallpaper on Android.
There is definitely, I mean, they're calling it like a Zen game.
But it was like 99 cents or something, right?
It was actually $5.
But it does. Calling it a Zen game? What does that mean?
It's a Zen game. So it's relaxing, as you can hear. It's got electronic music playing.
That's
I'm going to
exciting.
plug it in here.
That's
Can we do that?
soothing.
So, I just had a brilliant idea. They should make beautiful Katamari
so you
for
can hear this out there. And yeah, like the idea, right, is that it's relaxing. You don't have to really pay close attention and like play it like you would a game. It's more sort of like you can play it and it's in the background and it's something.
No, they don't have beautiful Katamari for it yet, do they?
They do not, but
they should do that.
They should.
Oh
that is a good idea.
That'd be amazing.
Okay,
well, that's an interesting sperm game.
That's where your mind went right away. That's good to know.
Look, you're absorbing other things, and your goal is to grow.
One other one I want to show off because this is hilarious. There's a great pinball game. It's just called Pinball HD.
Okay.
So this is the last game I'll show off. There's that's a cool pinball game. That Slayer, the metal band Slayer, has actually licensed their own version of this pinball game. It's called Slayer Pinball.
That's amazing.
So here you can see Slayer Pinball Rocks.
God, hell
so
yeah.
that's
awesome.
You're playing this pinball game.
Ignore that.
Yeah, we're gonna start from scratch.
Oh, that is awesome.
And so these are actual Slayer songs that are playing in the background.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I screwed up because I'm not paying
really
attention.
Good too. Wow.
It looks. The graphics are really cool, and this is exactly the kind of stuff that the iPad does really well. It's not super in depth. It's not like a full featured game. It's casual. It's fun, and actually you can lose quite a bit of time in these
bet,
iPad games, you know, trying to get tire scores and.
That was really cool.
I love pinball games. This makes me want to get an iPad, just the pinball game.
Just for it's a $500 pinball game.
How much is it?
Yeah, right, exactly.
I believe this game is only $1.99. A lot of these pinball games are, you know, pretty cheap, and they're the Pinball HD, if you like pinball, has 3 different tables on it, and it's only like $2 or $3. So that's a really great deal.
That's the thing about mobile platforms. Games are really cheap on mobile platforms right now.
Yes.
It's not as full-fledged, but you can give $5 to play pinball.
And the cool thing is you could try out a lot of different games. I mean, I don't know if you saw my screen. Like, I have like 10 or 12 games that I've tried out in the last couple of weeks, all for the price I would pay for one, you know, console game.
Yeah.
So whereas a console game, if you buy it, you're sort of in. You're like, I'm gonna play the hell out of Alan Wake because I'm spending $60 on it.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you know, you try it, you don't like it, you give it a bad review, and you move on to the next one. It was like you dropped the
well, that's
bucket.
what's also great about things like the Summer Arcade from Xbox, is that those games are kind of like, you know, disposable games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Xbox
right,
Live, Xbox Arcade, they have the same kind of concept of like.
And obviously PlayStation has those games too.
Though, you know?
So.
Yeah, they're smaller games. It's a smaller experience, but you know, you can play it just for an afternoon and get your money's worth out of it, and it's like going to see a movie or something, and then you're done.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. We're actually already out of time, if you can believe it. Thanks for coming on for a few minutes.
You have to come back again sometime. Or
You're
maybe,
just saying that to get
maybe you should be in the showdown with us one week.
I would love that, but
that'd be
not a
fantastic.
racing game. I'm horrible at
That's what I thought too. But
See, I'm
I got
normally
in sixth
really,
place, so,
I'm normally
you know.
really good at racing games, but I didn't know the controls for that one. Like I was telling Michael before.
whatever. You can't.
No,
come on.
Come on.
I
wanted to practice beforehand. I'm like, I always read the instruction manual. I need to know what all the buttons do. It's just really freaking me out that I don't get to practice.
Yeah.
It's just like they were saying in the chat room. I hate to brake. I never want to brake. I just want to go faster, and so I crash it.
Yeah, that's what I said. I like crashing into the walls and bouncing off them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, believe it or not, that's our show. We want to thank Lon Harris for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. His show is This Week in iPad. It's on immediately before us from 5 to 6 every Thursday. Is that right?
5 to 6. You got it.
5 to 6. Yeah. And you can look at a shiny iPad screen for an hour if you'd like. If you can't afford one yourself. Yeah. So let's see. We've got a couple of exciting things coming up in the next few weeks. We want you to submit your videos, your video reviews of games that you like, hate, think are interesting, think nobody knows about. Submit them to us. We will play them on the show. We want to do that as a fairly regular segment, at least a couple times a month, something like that. But we're still getting in the groove here. We got a lot of really cool segments to work with. I like the Showdown one. That's a lot of fun.
Yes,
thanks to the BitBag for a lot of our news.
Shout out to Torrance.
Heck yeah. Thanks to a lot of really cool websites that I personally poach a lot of news from. Destructoid, Gamasutra, Kotaku, Joystick, Max Console, IGN, Game Trailers, G4 TV, Game Pro, etc., etc. Thanks to our producer, Lon Harris, also host of This Week in iPad. You can find me on Twitter at Michael_Ludden and on YouTube at Ludden Media, one word. And if you want to email me at michael@thisweekin.com. You can also email this show at well, no, you cannot equal this.
Don't email the show.
You can
it's
find
a show. It's an anime.
You can find the show.
Email a person, right? A real person.
Find the show at TWI Video Games. That's on Twitter.
Yes. Hey, you guys, don't forget, we are also on iTunes on podcasts.
That's
so
right.
please rate and subscribe to us on iTunes and rate and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yes.
And, you know, if you guys are watching this on thisweekend.com, don't forget, on Ustream, we have our chat room, and we'd love to have you guys jump into the chat room and give your voices. Next week, we're going to be talking about some new video games. We're talking about Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Oh, wow.
We're going to talk about Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
And I think that we also maybe should talk about Lego Harry Potter, because I kind of love that game.
Yeah.
So you can find me on Twitter at Andrea Renee, like I said earlier in the show, and Facebook.com/Andrea Renee or at AndreaRenee.com.
And stay tuned for This Week in Music coming up in a half an hour. But for right now, it's game over.